Hi, my name's Andy Rhodes. I'm the Chief Constable of Lancashire Police, a force of about 6,000 officers and staff based in the northwest of the UK. I'm talking today about how technology is used and our investment in technology is supporting the front line in this organisation to support victims of crime. I'll shortly hand you over to Chief Inspector Dave Hannon, who's our expert in this area, and he's going to talk about three big areas where we're investing our technology, our IT investment to support victims of crime. The first area is giving the right kit to people on the front line, so when they're at the scene of an incident and they're working directly with a victim in their hour of need, they've got the latest technology and the tools to help them do the job, to collect evidence, to keep those victims updated, and to make sure that they have a really good victim experience of the highest quality. The second area will be around support systems. We take about 1.2 million calls for service a year in Lancashire Police, and out of those 1.2 million calls, 600,000 we are using voice technology, voice to text and robotics to really understand the needs of the people that ring us that sometimes don't make it onto the logs. Those people sometimes don't have their voices heard, and it's important for us to use the latest technology to analyse and understand what we need to do more of so we can shape our victim services for them. The third area that we're going to look at is around specialist support. We're outside the first Forensic Science Academy of its kind, a collaboration between UCLan University and Lancashire Police. In this Forensic Academy we have a significant investment in research and development into specialist digital forensics, and Dave's going to talk you through some of the more sophisticated technologies that we use in our higher end investigations, ranging from counter-terrorism to serious sexual offences and homicide. Thanks for listening to me. I'm going to hand you over to Dave now, who's going to show you some of the things that we use in Lancashire to keep our victims safe and make sure they have the best experience they can should they be unfortunate to become a victim of crime. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chief Inspector Dave Hannon. I am the Digital Implementation Lead for Lancashire Constabulary. As you've just heard from Chief Constable Andy Rhodes, I'm going to talk to you about some of the ways that we've been investing in technology to assist victims of crime within Lancashire. We've rolled out thousands of Samsung mobile telephone devices to frontline officers and investigators. This allows frontline officers to get all the information at the scene of crime, ensuring quality of evidence. It allows them to take photographs of the scene and record all relevant information and share it with partners whilst they are there. Some of the added benefits of the mobile telephones as well allows victims of crime to contact the officer directly via text, telephone or email, and the officer can respond to them. Also, we are currently in the rollout of new body-worn video. This allows officers to capture the best evidence at the scene of crime. We are rolling out over 2,000 cameras. This means that every officer, when they need one, where they need one, will have access to a camera. These cameras will ensure that all the evidence is provided. This is uploaded to online systems which can then be shared with our partners in the Crown Prosecution Service and Criminal Justice Service. This again will ensure a much swifter, speedier justice for our victims of crime. The second area that we've been investing in is the support systems. So one is quite an innovative is the voice to text analytics. So in our contact centre we have only previously known about the demand that is logged, where we've had 600,000 calls a year that have not been logged. And we've never previously been able to identify what those calls are about. Using new technology, we've been able to turn all the voice recordings into text and then put some analysis above that. For example, we've now identified that 20% of that unlogged demand is simply victims of crime contacting the police to find out who the officer in their case is to get an update on their crime. As a result of this, we've also then invested in creating new calling cards. These are a way that our officers, when they're at the scenes of crimes and speaking to victims, can provide them with the contact details so that the victim of crime can contact the officer directly, either by telephone, text or email straight to the officer's Samsung mobile telephone. As part of some of the support systems, we are also working with partners to ensure that the information we get is shared as quickly as possible. Operation Encompass is one of the examples of this. This is where officers can identify where vulnerable victims, children, have been present at an incident where violence has occurred. This alerts school within 24 hours of that incident. That allows the school to then understand why the child may or may not be present as such when they're at school and put the appropriate safeguarding measures in place. Some of the other technologies we're doing as well is one called telephone witness statements. We've now created a secure platform where we can take telephone witness statements, i.e. a statement by the telephone. This allows us to reduce are traffic and travelling to and from victims' homes, because some victims are vulnerable and don't want the presence of a police officer or a police car outside of their address. This allows us to do these witness statements far more remotely in a secure and safe environment. Again, this ensures that the voice of the victim is heard at all times and the best evidence is provided to the courts. Finally, with support systems, we have two systems that are coming very soon. Firstly is the Digital Evidence Management System. An awful lot of our evidence now is digital, but at the moment we're still collating this in the forms of discs and USBs, and these are being transported in envelopes and passed around. This takes time, and sometimes this information can get lost, which then doesn't provide the evidence for the courts. The Digital Evidence Management System provides an online platform. It is secure and it will store all evidence in one place. Not only is this better for the investigation to get the evidence to the courts, it's better for the investigator and the officer to collate all their information in one location. It will speed up the process and ensure that everything is available to the investigator's needs to provide in interview, to the CPS and to the courts for a final prosecution. And finally, the National Enabling Programme, which is our implementation of Office 365. This will provide lots of many benefits, but one which will be key to victims is the ability to do video calls. So linked to telephone witness statements, or the ability to actually speak to an officer but using a face-to-face call using the internet. Particularly in times of COVID, when you want to reduce contact, we can now ensure that we can speak to people not just on the telephone but using video technology. This is secure and safe, and again provided with some of the highest security available within Lancashire Police. And the final area that we've been investing in is in the specialist support. So we've invested quite heavily in our digital forensic unit here at Lancashire Constabulary. We now have a state-of-the-art digital forensic laboratory which is accredited to the ISO standards, so we know that any evidence that our teams are providing to the courts are of the highest quality. We have state-of-the-art technology which can get access to information from all elements of technology, from smartphones, laptops to computers, to the new Internet of Things. Pretty much all crimes that occur now have a digital footprint, so having the kit and technology to find the evidence on digital footprints is really important. And with the facilities that we've got here now in Lancashire, we can ensure that we get an accurate and speedy evidence to the courts, and that provides less worries and less stress to the victims of crime and a better outcome for those people. As part of the specialist support areas, we've created a new dedicated Cybercrime Unit here in Lancashire. The Cybercrime Unit deal with online crime. This is one of the fastest growing areas of demand in Lancashire. We find that victims of crime sometimes don't report these because they feel ashamed or don't know where to report it. So we're doing an awful lot of work with victims of crime to ensure that we get accurate reporting of cybercrime. To enable us as well, as part of Lancashire Constabulary, due to the specialist nature of these crimes, we also employ dedicated cyber volunteers. So we work with volunteers from people within industry to provide us expert advice on how to retrieve evidence from online dedicated crimes. Hopefully, as you can see, in Lancashire we've invested quite heavily in supporting victims of crime using technology. But the journey doesn't stop here. Technology keeps advancing, and we'll keep making sure that we've got the right kit and tools for our officers to safeguard our public.